Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 0.01% to 38,362. Ethereum is up 0.39% to 2809. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. We can see that Ape has been doing really well, but it's just come down about 19.42%. A lot of people would have said they could never believe that Ape would come down, but it's actually come down pretty hard. And we've been talking about this for just some time. One thing that you will always find, when cryptos get too overheated, they must retrace. Can you imagine if you were unlucky enough to put $1,000 in or $10,000 in at this very high? You would have lost $4,185. That's why to understand the rules of crypto is just so incredibly important. And another rule is Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. When Bitcoin comes down, what we see is directional play in all the alts. Typically 1% of the alts will escape, but the gravity will get it eventually. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, and you can always directly message me on Twitter. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention. They measure price, which is reality. We don't care about future promises. We look at the price and see what is actually happening. For example, the promise of Ape is really quite good, but I was warning people a retracement was imminent. When you get too much of a move up, especially when Bitcoin has been coming down, you will get a retracement. That's why we say you can always buy lower. As crypto technical analysts, we scientifically mark up our charts with the CTKS methodology, which has been specifically designed to capture exponential price movements. This is a really, really important skill to have. Then we look at outside trends. We collect probabilities from the market. We look back into the crypto market and find the market's focus, knowing that opportunities reset daily. What you will find as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into crypto, the actual philosophy that you have will dictate and determine your profitability. Many people think when they enter, it's just like, oh, just give me the right buy level, the right sell level, and that's all I need to do. It's not actually the case. It's kind of like psychological warfare inside markets. They're highly emotional. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of guidance to become professional and master emotional control. If not, you'll buy at the wrong time and you'll sell at the wrong time. It's just what happens to all of us inside markets until we've learned better. And when we know better, we can do better. Then the trigger section, where there's specific methodologies to buy and to sell. It's important to understand everything's like a staircase leading up to you being able to buy and sell correctly. If you miss steps on these staircases, you'll just cost yourself. And it's really important to apply Rule 141, go slow to go fast. It's all about acquiring knowledge. Just looking into the main markets, we saw that in the last trading session, we had a spike up in fear. One thing with the VIX, what we see in the VIX is very, very spiky behavior. When fear spikes up, what actually happens is that the indices come down, and we can see the Nasdaq 100 has come down 23.5%. A lot of people in the stock market say we're in a bear market right now. Why do they say that? Because common wisdom is that somebody picked the percentage, 20%, and said if price comes down 20%, that means we're in a bear market. So that's what people are talking about when they talk about stocks being in a bear market. But one thing to understand is price is always moving in a wave. Price has come down right now 23.5%, but if we were to take it up to here, for example, it only came down 9%. That's not a bear market. Be careful. Price is always moving in a wave. So we can think a little while ago we were just down 9%, but a little while back from that we were actually, if I can get this right, well, I can't get it right, but over 21.51%. So please bear that in mind. People say it's a bear market, and then it rallies. The markets are notorious for absolutely destroying certainty. Be very, very careful about common wisdom. Common wisdom costs you money. We're doing crypto analysis, so why are we looking at the Nasdaq? Why are we looking at the main markets? Because all markets are interdependent, and this is something that's lost when people get into the crypto markets. For the start, they just say, I'm just going to look at my beloved alt, and I'm not going to worry too much about what's happening anywhere else. And that's the same thing for a lot of stock market investors and traders, and we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. Some people have a philosophy that trading is very, very risky. Investors trade every time they buy and sell. It's important to know how to do it. What we can actually see is the bond prices have been plummeting recently. Gold took a bit of a hit but bounced, and it's still in a long-term uptrend, so just be aware of that. The US dollar was spiking, now it's starting to retrace. We have to see how far it retraces back, but if we have a loss in this fear, markets come back up to at least this resistance level, we would expect the DXY to fall. Also, the yields are long overdue to come down. Bond prices are long overdue to retrace as well. When we look at light crude oil, we can see the oil price is just trying to make up its mind if it's going up or coming down, but it looks more positive than negative. Please let me know in the comments, how do you think the main markets, the US stock market, is going to go when it opens? Do you think the Nasdaq will come down? What do you think about gold and bond price, bond yield, and the US dollar? What do you think will happen? I would love to hear your thoughts. Turning to the crypto market, we can look at the fear gauge just like we look at the VIX. Currently the fear gauge is 22, which is extreme fear. Professional investors and traders love to buy extreme fear for their dollar cost averaging strategy, and we have a different strategy called BORSOG. BORSOG, buy on red, that's the BOR. SOG, sell on green, that's the BORSOG. It's a little bit easier to see it here. Buy on red, sell on green. This is rule 621. You always want to be on the right side of the percentage. When price comes down, you want to be involved in that and exiting as price comes up. What do we see in Bitcoin's price? We see an enormous amount of support underneath the current price. We've got support in this area from about, for example, the current price of about 38,275 down to around 35,000, and we even have support down to the 30,000 mark through here and through here. We've got a ton of support that's under Bitcoin, but yet people are very, very bearish. And that's probably because they've heard people talk about the stock market. There's been a technical retracement of 20%. And therefore, people are labeling the stock market as a bear market. And you saw, with a little bit of a bounce, it only came down 9%. So that took it out of the bear market. How do they relate to that? I'd like you to keep your eye on just a couple of things. What we've seen here is actually a resistance line. We've crossed resistance. This is a consolidation phase. And what does it mean? The sellers have not been able to push Bitcoin's price down since it actually broke this resistance level. It's quite obvious when you look at the chart in this way, but a lot of people are calling for $10,000 Bitcoin. I would suggest that they are retail influencers. Be very careful of who you listen to. We can see a lot of support coming in here at around the 37,164 line, and also a lot of support down to the 32,332 level. All of this band is support. I'd also like you to keep in mind that when price was selling off back here in mid-July, everybody said it was all over. Our community didn't say that at all. Our community said the exact opposite, and we saw price rally up quite substantially. Please remember, Only retail tries to buy the bottom. Professionals don't even care about bottoms or tops. I want you to think professionally. Let's do a deeper dive on Bitcoin. Those particular prices that I was talking about, 37,164.20 and 32,332.40, this is the particular support zone that exists below Bitcoin at the moment. And you can see it's a really strong zone, and it's a wide zone. Does it mean that we might get this sort of behavior, say one of these long tail capitulation spikes down? Absolutely, that is always on the cards, but there's a lot of buyers that will be stepping in. Institutions love playing mind games with retail investors and traders. They will push things down and try and break the spirit of retail just to reverse everything. That's what I'm all about, is to try and tell you how the institutions play their games. For example, when ape was coming up and up and up, I said, be careful, it's going to come down. And it did. And this is what actually happens with financial markets. We have some good support levels. Bitcoin is currently trading at 38,130. We've got a good support level at 37,725.50. Another one at 36,39.3. $70, and another one at 35,108.92. These are all really strong support levels. The other thing to keep in mind, we're currently under resistance. I'll just zoom in there a little bit. And Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TG34. You can see that we're currently under resistance with Bitcoin. Now, why is this important? Why are we looking at Bitcoin? Why don't we just go to your beloved alts? Because no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Whatever Bitcoin is doing, just as we saw with ape, the whole entire crypto market is doing from a directional perspective. So we must understand Bitcoin. When we look at Bitcoin, it's currently under resistance, but you can see that resistance is starting to get broken. We're finding levels of support, and we're not getting that climactic sell-off that many people thought we would get. And congratulations to the people yesterday who thought that Bitcoin would end up in Zone B. You are right. I think a lot of people are absolutely certain come Wednesday, when the Fed does its interest rate hike, that the markets will absolutely plummet. Remember, the markets do not reward certainty. They penalize certainty. We may see an absolute opposite thing happen, but we just have to wait and see. Where do you think price will come down to? Do you think price will stay in this B zone under resistance? Maybe go to E. Do you think it will come up to A, up to C? Please let me know in the comments. It's a really good exercise, and we've got one of the best communities. Everybody is so welcoming and so kind. If we go back to the end of December, around the 27th, we saw Bitcoin's price coming down and down and down, and it hit that area of support. There are lots and lots of buyers in there. What did it do? It spiked up, and then it came down back into the same area. Notice this is a low, but this low is higher. This is an uptrend. What about next? It's come back to here, and it's not got even into this box as yet. These are all really positive signs that people are not talking about. Between this 37,164 and 32,332 is an institutional accumulation zone. There's so many positive news stories in the market. For example, Fidelity being able to actually grab the pension fund money and put it in Bitcoin. That is massive. That is absolutely massive. Of course, the institutions are leaning into the crypto space right now, but they make it really tumultuous for retail investors and traders. That's why we have to have a real wealth mindset. Real wealth is all about maintaining a positive excellence life trend, one of inner and outer peace. If you're in turbulence because of the news, you will not have inner peace. If you're in turbulence with other people, you will not have outer peace. Both of these things, the absence of peace costs you money. And we know that money is a byproduct of just applying the right rules into the market. And the market is an ever-changing thing, so those rules will change. That's why we must have forgiveness. We have to look at whatever we did in the past and say, okay, I did that with my level of knowledge. Now I can know that I can do something better. So kindness to yourself is incredibly important. Having kindness and then having gratitude is important. It will build your happiness. Money without all of these other things is, as you will find, absolutely worthless. That's why Rule 734 is utterly critical. Master emotional control. You cannot be a professional without emotional control. We can see as we look across about the top 100 cryptos, we can see Tron out in front over the past 7 days, up about 7%, GMT up about 3%, and then all the rest are losing. This is in stark contrast to a couple of days ago when there were double-digit gains. This is really important to understand about crypto. Crypto has exponential price action. Things explode and then implode, explode, implode, explode, implode. It's one of the hardest markets in the world to be in. But if you actually understand it, it becomes much, much easier and can be a ticket to a beautiful life and more financial blessing to yourself and those you love. But of course, you need to know the rules. Now, what is actually happening here? This is like an enhanced pattern recognition perspective. We can see Tron, this kind of pink line coming up. Tron is making a run for it. GMT looks to be turning around too. And what do we see with Bitcoin? Look at how Bitcoin moves. Even these little bitty ups and downs get reflected throughout the entire crypto market. Please be aware of this. No alt escapes Bitcoin's gravity. That's one rule that you must always be aware of. Price moves in waves is the other one. And of course, BORSOG is absolutely, absolutely important. One thing that we do as professionals, we make in advance probabilistic choices. What will we do if price goes our way, goes against us, or just gets boring and does nothing? We have answers to those 3 questions, and you need those answers with your portfolio at all times. One reason that we track the main stock market is this white line. That's the Nasdaq 100. You can see it's setting a directional bias inside Bitcoin. But you might notice something else. Bitcoin is not responding so negatively. That's because there is a very hidden secret in the relationship between Bitcoin and the main markets. When the main markets sell off dramatically, Bitcoin is typically the first to recover. What I'm seeing here is basic recovery action. We've not seen a full recovery. We're still under resistance, but this is looking really, really good. We're just like detectives. We need to look at many, many data points. And looking at the longs, which is the green line, you can see the longs are coming up literally exponentially. They're getting more and more confident that the bottom is in. And the shorts are getting more and more confident that the market will sell off. And they're coming in, but not to the same degree that the longs are. So let's have a look. Who's liquidating who today? We can see over the past 24 hours, there's been 332 million in liquidations across about 113,000 positions, which is quite a lot for weekend trading. We can also see in the past 24 hours, about 80% of liquidations were long liquidations. I always say, please do not leverage trade. If you leverage trade, you're likely to blow your account. Now, I'll show you just how crazy things can get. In the past 24 hours, about 80% of liquidations were long. So we would expect over the past 12 hours, they would be long liquidations. Let's check it out. Oh, hang on. 57% short liquidations. Well, the shorts got hammered. Well, so the past 4 hours, that'd be long, or would that be short? Let's check it out. It's about 50-50. What about the past hour? Would that be short or would that be long? Whoa, 79% short. You can see how certainty absolutely kills portfolios. People were absolutely certain that the market was going down, so they went short, and now they're getting crushed. And it's within the past hour. This is important to understand. And there's quite a bit of trading volume. Actually, there was quite a bit of trading volume yesterday as well, which is quite uncommon for the weekend. Always remember, there is no certainty inside any financial market, especially crypto. When we look at Bitcoin futures open interest, we can see the futures open interest is a very good predictor of driving the price of Bitcoin up. Now, why do we care? Because your beloved alts, they really care about Bitcoin's gravity because they either get elevated or crushed by it. And the alts always over-exaggerate Bitcoin's directional bias. What are we seeing here? The futures open interest has just come down a little bit and it's still in an uptrend. This again is very positive. So what do we see underneath Bitcoin? We see a lot of support through this area. That's that 37,164 to 32,332 mark. There's a lot of buyers down here and we've already proven it out twice. And we can see the price has not come down as much as what the off sell was in the Nasdaq. And don't forget, the crypto trades 24 hours a day. It's not like the stock markets, which are only open a fraction of the time. I would suggest that the sellers are running out of momentum, but does that mean they won't give it one last hurrah? Yeah, they'll try, absolutely. Let's have a quick look through the top 8. We can see Bitcoin has just lost that particular support line, but we know that there's a ton of support below this. We're really looking at Bitcoin's gravity, this blue line. This is all about enhancing your pattern recognition. If you understand these things, you will definitely be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. When we see Bitcoin coming down, that's that blue line. We can see Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity and coming down with it. When we look at Binance Coin, same thing. XRP recently has been quite weak, but it's also following Bitcoin's gravity. It's not like XRP was weak and Bitcoin was rallying. Not like that at all. XRP was just a little bit weaker than the overall market. And what about ADA, Cardano? That has come back. Long-time viewers will know that I was recommending ADA around this 80-cent mark and saying it's a good idea to get out of ADA as it was going up because we can always buy it back. This is what happens inside crypto all the time. Price is always moving in a wave. Let's have a look at Solana. Solana, we put a couple of lines here, buy lines, and they've been hit. We just missed that 81.01 just by a fraction. But we know that actually Bitcoin's gravity is driving this. Bitcoin has been coming down for quite a while. It is absolutely due for an uptrend. And when it goes up, these alts will absolutely party. Let's have a look at Luna. Luna is following Bitcoin's gravity down at the moment, but it's looking really, really strong. What about AVAX? AVAX was doing well. It had a lot of support, and it's just recently sold off. Where did it catch price? At the support levels. This is why I say when you want to lean into any specific trade, and trade, remember, trade is just a word. If you're an investor but you do not know how to trade, you're absolutely losing money, I guarantee you. And because of that, you will not be sure when to buy and when to sell. That's what trading gives you. It gives you all sorts of rules to do your investing better. You don't have to be an investor and then become a trader. It's all the same thing. It's just buying and selling, but you're holding for different periods. It's good the more diversity you have, the more capability and skills you have, the better you will be inside the markets. I've just done a new piece of analysis looking over the top 20 in the past 2 weeks. What do we see here? Tron over the past 2 weeks has come up 16.28%, Luna up about 6%, and a lot of losses, near having the greatest loss of 25.28%, and Atom around the 24% mark. Don't forget that these are top projects. What will happen is the top projects will follow Bitcoin's gravity. You can see it playing out all the time. Bitcoin is the yellow line. When the yellow line comes down, it pushes all the alts with it. And this is the nature. Some will escape, but not as much as you think. Even when ape was going ape, it was going bananas, it was still obeying Bitcoin's gravity. That's something that a lot of people don't actually realize. Bitcoin is the ruler of the crypto market. We don't have to love it, we don't have to hate it, but we certainly need to know it. When you see Bitcoin coming down, what do you see? Look at this absolute plummeting that occurs. This is really important to understand, and it occurred even with Tron and Luna. Now, Tron and Luna look to be turning around, and Luna's looking quite interesting. But remember, when we say something is quite interesting, we're not saying go all in and more at one price level. It's always about buying support levels down because you want to catch long tail rejections. You want to get price to be on your side. If you'd like to learn more about the rules to buy and to sell, you can have a look through the masterclass. You can also directly message me. I'm always available to chat with people. It's also really important to understand that life resets daily. Life is always new. Every sunrise is a new life for you. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, just make today the best it can be. That's the way to live a meaningful and happy life. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time.